This is day number 28 on our 6-day challenge. Today, our goal is creating balance. I want to ask you a question. Can you say no? And this is why I want to say this to all of us who are listening to this and chasing our excuses away. You got to be able to tell other people and yourself no. And that's one of the biggest issues that I'm finding out in creating balance. We are hard on ourselves. Even when we tell people no, we feel guilty when we do it. We feel like, hey, I did something wrong because I told somebody no. But the reality is, if you don't learn how to tell some people no, you won't be able to create this balance in your life. Here's one of the things about it. See, we keep putting things on our plate. We keep putting things on our plate, but we don't take anything off of our plate. And so we keep We have this alignment that's really is not aligned with what we need to do in life. So we can't chase these excuses away unless we learn how to say no. We got to say no to some things in life. We got to say no to some people in life. Because if we put more things on our plate, it's not going to create balance in our lives. And so, let me be honest with you. I have seen myself doing it too often that I don't say no enough to things that's not linked to my vision and where I'm going. That's why you have to have your core values so you can know what decisions you're going to make on a daily basis. But you got to have balance. So for the next few days, and I don't know how many days it's going to take, we're going to flush this out and how we're going to create balance in our life. I got my circles over here, something I discovered a long time ago by studying psychology. And I studied this, that psychologists talk about the mind, the body, and the soul, but I think there's more pieces to it. And I want you to see how important it is for us to create balance in our life. You're not going to chase excuses away if you keep adding stuff to your plate, and if you don't create balance and you don't know how to say no to certain things and certain people in your life. I'll be honest with you, you got to learn how to say no. And I'm telling you, and don't feel guilty when you do. Don't feel shame, or don't feel embarrassed because you told somebody no. Why? Because you can't keep adding things onto your plate and create balance in your life. Now, going into 2019, let me be honest with you. There's some things you're going to have to look at on your plate and some things you're going to have to take off your plate to create the balance that you want in your life. You're not going to have the peace that you need in your life if you don't have balance. So I'm going to share you this, and I believe I'm going to flush these out for the next few weeks or next week or so. I'm going to flush these 7 areas out that I think you need to have balance. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I think this is going to change your life. I think it's going to change how you see excuses in your life. Because sometimes an excuse is that you don't know how to say no to something. No, I don't believe that. I believe that all things are possible with God. And I got to say no to some other things that I've been believing that cannot happen in my life. So these 7 areas, let me just give it to you, but we're going to flush them out. Because look at this. Sometimes we think we are balanced, and we got more weight on one side than we have on the other, and we think it's all balanced and everything is working for us. But man, we are angry about things. We're tired and we're exhausted. We don't have time for anything because we don't have balance in our life. We don't even have time for ourselves. And ladies, I'm telling you, I think that sometimes it's the worst thing you have ever done in your life is that you put more on your plate, thinking that you can create balance. That's why you can't sleep at night, because you got all this stuff going through your head. You can't even rest. You can't even enjoy yourself because you got too many things on your plate. And you think it's okay, but it's affecting your health. It's affecting your relationship. So you got to ask the question, how do I create this balance in my life? All right, so I'm going to tell you these 7 areas, and we're gonna flush these out for you, but I really want to create balance. I want you to have a balance in your life. I'm telling you, it's going to change a lot. You're going to feel a lot better about yourself. You're going to go into 2019 a totally different person. Focus is totally different because you're creating balance. So let's look at the 7 areas. Mentally, we're going to talk about mentally, that's having wisdom. I got to talk about having the wisdom of God. The Bible tells us the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So when I learned to reverence the thing of God, because I remember when I wrote this book, Date Rape, at 11 a.m. Sunday, I asked the question, have we started at the wrong point? In the Psalms, it said, come, let me teach you how to fear God, how to reverence God. And I think that's very important that we learn how to honor God in everything we're doing. So we're going to look at our body. Our body, we're going to talk about fitness. I'm not just talking about just go to the gym. I'm talking about walking. I'm talking about exercise. I'm talking about eating right. And we got to look at this because when our body is tired and exhausted, there's no balance there. We're not excited. We don't have the energy that we need for relationships and other things in our life because our body is out of balance. Our money. Think about this. A lot of times we don't sit down with a budget, have some financial goals and things of this nature. We're going to talk about that too, why that's necessary for us. Because when our money start acting funny, acting strange, when the money start acting funny, other things start acting funny because we don't have balance financially. Then we look at our time. How do we manage time? How do we manage the gifts that God has given us? God has given us gifts. He has given us abilities. How are we managing? How are we doing like Dr. McCaleb said in the book, stir up the gift? Am I stirring up that which God has given me? But we're going to look at that. Emotion. Deal with contentment. Have you learned how to be content? Paul said in Philippians, I have learned how to be content. Who have taught you how to be content in the state that you're in? Lord, I thank you for the little I have. Lord, I thank you for the much I have. I just learned how to be content. Unity, relationships, unity. Are you one with the person you're with? Can you be one with the person you're with? If you're not, guess what happens? You won't have balance in that relationship. And we're going to talk a lot about that relationship. Now, and then as we go along with this, as we get into 2019, my wife is going to join me on these teachings. But I want you to see this, how powerful it is to have the right type of relationship. Because that's out of balance, guess what happens? It has an impact on other areas of your life. That's why you have to create balance. Then you need to have it as the most important circle in this whole thing is spiritual. I think your relationship with God connects all the other areas in your life. Because the Bible's talking about God gives us a peace that passes all understanding. You got to have peace. If you don't have peace there, let me tell you something right now. There's no spiritual balance in your life. There's some things that's out of line. You know, like a car needs to be aligned. What happened to the car? It started going in the wrong direction. And it takes more work to keep it going straight. Well, that's what happens with our life when it's not balanced. It starts going in the wrong direction. But we need to create balance so we can go in the right direction. But you don't know how much more work it takes to keep it going in the wrong direction. Let's get aligned with God and everything else will fit like it's supposed to fit in our lives. So we got to look at what are the things that are out of line. And as we look at our alignment, you look at all this weight you're trying to carry. That's why some of you are so worn out. You're so burdened down. You got all these thoughts going on in your head, ladies. You can't sleep at night. You got all these dreams because you haven't learned how to say no to some people, and it keeps you up. It keeps you up at night. You don't have time for yourself because you got so much on your plate. You're trying to do so much, and you don't have a balance in your life. You don't know how to say no. You don't know how to say no, even to your children. No, I can't do it. Won't do it. It's too much. It's no. But it creates balance in your life, but you're going to help your kids create balance in their lives. So I'm going to give you 6 things that I think that's important for us to create balance. And what we're going to do, we're going to flush these areas out. So you need to get ready for them. I'm going to flush them out. Now, it might take you into a little Bible study. Probably will, no doubts about that. But what I'm going to help you to do is see that God has a purpose and plan for your life. God doesn't want you to be living with excuses in life. God, the best of your life is in the hands of God. One day with God is better than all the days you have spent with the enemy. One day with God is much better. But you haven't experienced it yet. You don't have the balance with God. And you got to get there. I'm telling you, it's a different story in your life. Your whole testimony would be different because you have balance in your life. So we give you the 6 things, and I think we need to do. First of all, we need to assess where we are. Now, at the very beginning of this chasing excuses away, we talked about making an assessment. You got to look at where you are. In these 7 areas of your life, be honest with yourself and say, what is my relationship like with other people? What's my relationship like with my wife, my husband, my significant other, whoever it is, ladies, whoever it is, men, who are in your life, what's that relationship like? You got to ask that question. So you start assessing these 7 areas. You start assessing your body. Where's my body? Am I tired all the time? Do I never have any energy? Am I exhausted? I want to sleep all the time? What's wrong with my body? Okay, I need to exercise. I need to do something. I need to set some goals. And so in these 7 areas, we're going to talk about that. So now we got to assess where we are. You got to assess where you are in these 7 areas. Number 2, make it a priority. Make creating balance a priority in your life. Say, hey, I'm sick and tired of my life being like this. I need to create balance. There's some things I need to take off my plate. If I'm going to put something else on my plate, I need to take some things off of my plate. Because why? I got to create balance in my life. Let me tell you something. This is very important because we just have a tendency to put more on our plate and never take anything off. Make it a priority. Number 3, plan it. Do something about it and do it now. You got to say, hey, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to plan my life. I'm going to plan to create balance in my life. You got to plan this. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is responsible for doing it for you. You got to know how to say no to some things. You got to plan. You got to plan this. The fourth thing is set goals, like I said, in every area of life. Set goals mentally. Read some books. I'm reading books on habits. I'm reading books by John Wooden about leadership. I'm reading books because why? I'm dealing with the errors that I always had in my life. You're going to have to read. You're going to have to set a goal. I'm going to read some books. Set a goal that I'm going to deal with my body. I'm going to the gym. Set a goal. You're going to deal with your money. You're going to create financial goals for yourself and your family. You're going to learn how to prioritize things in life. Take care of what you need to pay for first before you get what you want. But you need to set goals for that. Your time management, set goals, how you're going to use your gift, how you're going to serve others. I'll tell you, it's a very powerful thing when you start setting goals in every area. Your emotion, you start getting to a place, God, I'm going to be grateful for where I am. I'm going to thank you for where I am. I may not like the situation now, but man, I'm going to create balance in it because why? If God promotes me somewhere else, I better have the right attitude before I go there. Because why? Promotions come when you create balance. Hear me again. Promotion comes when you create balance. Number 4, you got to take a risk. Number 5, that is, you got to take a risk. You got to learn to take a risk in telling some people no. You got to learn that some people you just cannot help. And you have to tell them, no, you can't help everybody. You can't get involved in everything because you can't add more to your plate. Some things you got to say, no, I can't do that. Can you say no? Learn how to say no. Because why? You can't add more to your plate. You got to create balance in it. You got to spend time creating balance. Take a risk. Take a risk in doing this. Because that's what it is. You're going to take a risk. And number 6, reassess yourself daily. Every day, sit down and say, okay, did I do what I need to do mentally? Or I said I was going to read 10 pages. I read the 10 pages. I got it. I read another chapter. I got it. My body didn't go to the gym. Did I exercise today? You ask yourself the question. You say, no, I didn't do it. All right, got to do it tomorrow. Okay? Start assessing everything. Your money, your time, start assessing where you are financially. Where are you with your time? How are you managing your time? You don't manage time, you manage priorities. What is a priority in your life? It's creating balance. Being able to tell somebody, no, no, no. You got to learn how to say no. Can you say no with me? So why? Because you're going to create balance in your life. Here's the other thing I want to say. By creating balance, you can make time for yourself. You know, a lot of times you don't have time for anybody else. You have time for everybody else but yourself. Time for your children, time for your mom, time for your dad, time for everybody else, but you don't have any time for yourself. And you don't reward yourself. You reward everybody else, but when is the last time you reward yourself? You pamper yourself. You say, hey, I'm going to get a manicure, pedicure. I'm going to get something done for me. I'm doing something for me. That's creating balance in your life. Going to the beach, going to the library, read a book, chill out. I'm doing something for me. That's learning how to take care of yourself before you try to take care of everybody else. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, guess what happens? You're not going to be any good to anybody else. You got to create balance for yourself. Nobody's responsible but you. My question is again, can you tell some people, no, I can't do it. Got to create balance in my life. All right, this is Charles Dent. Day number 28, creating balance. Say it with me again. No.